So we talked about in the beginning the Elephant Man, and we talked about his understanding about every no is closer to a yes. That rejection is not failure. Rejection is absolutely a part of success. And so I took this very seriously from a business. I mean, business, when you're in business, what's the goal of business? What is it? Make profit, make money. So it's all, I mean, and what's great to me in healthcare today is that we're in alignment with doing the right thing. I mean, I think you should do the right thing no matter what, but actually today, doing the right thing by your patients is critical, right? Because if you reduce patient outcomes, if you reduce readmission rates, if you improve labor ratios, if you do all those things, you're providing value to the marketplace. If you're getting patients better faster, if you're creating better outcomes for the patients, all those things are important. So we as marketers need to understand the activity necessary to scale our business to make money. All right, so as a rep, what's great is this started when I was literally starting as a kid as a telemarketer till today. Why the board of directors always loved me when I reported to public boards, why my manager always loved me when I was a sales rep, and why I've been able to make the money that I want to make for my life is because I didn't leave it to chance. I knew how many no's I need to take in order to make money. So I could predict my revenue. And that's really important, right? As a leader, you know, if you're a CEO or a president, you need to know what's your growth going to be like. And what that growth plan, I've seen many growth plans for many companies, and they show we're going to grow 20% this year. And they have, you know, these are the market indicators, and here's why we think, but they don't have the level of specifics I think you need in order to be successful. And so what I'm going to just show you is a real example of how you can get to that level of confidence about predicting what your income is going to be. So if you want to make more money, you'll know exactly the activity that you need to do in order to make money. All right, and that's what I love about models. All right, anybody ever been on a diet before? Okay. I don't care what diet you're on. I've done them all. Weight Watchers, Atkins, South Beach, Nutrisystem. Do they work? 100% of the time. Right? Because if you're a male and you're this age and you weigh this and you want to get down to this weight, if you follow this diet plan, it'll work every single time. The reason why they don't work is because you don't follow the diet. All right, so you want to get, but you know the activity necessary to get the outcome that you're looking for, and that's why they're successful, and that's why they've been around so long. So here's an example of what you can do. So you need to start tracking. All right, especially we just went over the appointment setting formula. How many outbound calls are you making on a daily, weekly, monthly basis? Literal dials. So whenever you dial the phone, if you're CRM, if you don't have a CRM, I did it when I first started out. I literally just keystroke. I got a pad. I dialed the phone. All right. Then I had another column. How many conversations did I have? Every time I had a conversation, put a stroke. How many qualified appointments did I make? Another keystroke. Then I started measuring at how many appointments, what's my closing ratio? Right? How many appointments does it take for me to generate a new patient referral? Then typically, how many patient referrals do I get per doctor's office? And after I do that, right, over a 90-day period, and I really map out and I measure all the activity and I log it just like a food journal would be in the dietary world, I now have numbers. I know how many calls it takes to get somebody on the phone, how many conversations it takes to make an appointment, how many appointments I need to make a sale, and what the value of that sale is, the economic value. So here's somebody that followed this. I teach a class. I do it now. I used to do it more often, but I'm running companies, so I don't have time to train anymore. When I was doing training more often, this was from one of my internet classes, and this was somebody who started mapping out their activity. So they had 100 conversations per week. They would generate 20 qualified appointments from those 100 conversations. They'd be able to bring in 4 new pieces of business every single time. And then their new sales dollars per week was $7,200. And it was like clockwork. After 90 days, the numbers, and what's nice about the numbers is they become very predictable. So now they deconstructed their activity. Every dial, every time they dial the phone, they make $14.40. It's just the math, backing into the math, right? Every time they have a conversation, they make $72. What happens on that conversation does not matter. They make $72. Every time they make an appointment, it's worth $360. And here's the beauty. We got to a point where no had an economic value. Every time they heard the word no along the process, they made $75. So my question to the class after we figured this out was, how many more no's do you want to take today? See, because now you're feeding off of no. And you're not doing like, obviously you're not going, please say no to me, please say no to me, right? That'd be ridiculous. But you go through your process, and when you heard the word no, it had an economic value. So that way it kept people going. So that way, a lot of times you do have a week where you don't make a sale. And you took a bunch of no's. That just means if you continue your process and if you're predictable and repeatable, the numbers are going to play back. It's just like why the casinos make money on your back. They know the odds. They know the numbers. They know everything. And that's where you want to be. And so in my businesses, I was always the smartest guy in the room because I knew my numbers, I knew the market, I knew everything because I would take these conversations and I would record everything.